Hello YouTube, today I'm doing something a little special. I'm going to evaluate all the creative characters that hold my family name. Being the creative person that I am, I have built a story under most of these characters on my channel, even if the game doesn't do it directly. So I'll be examining Xeno Santanah, Shinobi Santanah, Fantasy Santanah, and Sky Santanah. That is a mouthful. And I'll be grading them by both power and beauty. But first, let's summarize each of their stories. Here is the story of the Santanah of the Shinobi Striking Universe. Shinobi Santanah's story is rather simple. First day becomes a ninja, joins the hidden Mist Village, gets mentored on a maid because of course, and goes on her first mission and learns the air palm technique. Beats up on some road ninjas, successfully defeats them, and then also defeats some other ninjas in her class. Meets up with Xeno, probably Scissors Xeno, cause plot convenience. Goes to the tuning exam stadium, destroys the competition, and then goes on a mission with Kakashi. Starts the fight against the Uchiha clan, defeating both Sasuke and Itachi, and then takes on the Perfect Susanoo. After a jumping session, manages to even defeat the Perfect Susanoo. Fast forward, meets Konan, has a heated battle with her, defeats her, and then learns her Angel Wing technique. Even defeats Pain shortly after, a little bit with May's help, and with the new wings achieves advanced mobility, and defeats a lot of the competition in her class. And roughly that's about where the story ends for her. Fantasy Santanah probably has the most relatable story. So at the beginning, she starts by meeting the anime Avengers, and then seeing some giant monster patrolling the area, teleporting through portals and stuff. And then later gets into her first real squabble against some tall chick that has pink hair, and she gets bodied pretty bad. Like, face in the dirt bad. Later in the city, she meets a girl named Lynn who has the skirt the size of somebody's pinky finger. It's not covering anything. They fight Kung Lao's puppet, they defeat it, and then pretty much Lin just comes and takes all the glory. Then they travel to some dark abyss and then fights a dark monster, beats it till his head falls off, and they follow up by having to destroy the head as well. So her record's looking pretty good until she runs into this mech suit guy and gets chokeslammed, and then has to get saved, and it looks pretty bad. It's embarrassing. Fast forward, she lets her hair down, probably giving her her best look. She battles some creatures and saves this dear lady, and then goes spend some time with some women, and then goes back on a mission and finds out dear lady was being possessed by this thick Dimitrescu looking abyssa. So she calls ice on her so she can have a little one-on-one time, and then battles her until she fades into the darkness. And then fights another chick who demands smoke on sight just for her to get dropped in less than 3 seconds, which is probably the best dub because she spent no time and just wasted her. Also, her companion Mia is always one step behind her. It's good they got a nice little friendship. Afterwards, they fight a monster that has the whole force on edge, like everybody's out at the battlefield. They end up defeating the monster, but some girl shows up and has fire powers and finishes the job and potentially takes the glory yet again. Fast forward, now in a snow arena and they battle some kid in a mech suit and she gets whacked and takes the biggest L of her career. Like, how did she lose to this? This is embarrassing. Later it goes for the get back in a 3v3. She wins her ones and then they run away. Then she goes for it and runs into an angel lady with some crazy long hair. And then battles her until she cuts the battle short and then she runs away knowing she was about to lose. After all of that BS, they go underwater and have an in-game level war with the monsters in it. After fending them off, they battle against a giant hive mind located in the volcano. They kill it and then they rest on their victories with all the allies. A month later, they travel to Asia and work under this fine Asian lady named Master Yu and battle some elite level monsters in a cave with some new tech that she learned by Raven. The team defeats the monster and along with this helps freeze the region from the dark abyssins. So, Fantasy Santanah has had some L's and some W's, but main problem is her W's look like they were assisted by other characters and her ones, usually she gets washed, so it's pretty tough. Sky Santanah is the oldest of the group, both literally and figuratively. She's an immortal goddess, so she's like thousands of something years old. To be honest, I don't remember most of her story because I played this back in like 2016. However, I do remember she isn't the strongest character. She can still die. She just respawns in less than a few seconds back in her human form. However, if she does get enough energy, she can transform into a god, and she really be wrecking stuff then. She grows in size, power, and increases her energy consumption. Her blasts are much bigger. It's pretty big. Also, she's got this grandma who pays her like no attention. Like, she be trying. And like, I know you got a lot of grandchildren running around, but she won't even look her in the eye when she's standing right in front of her. Look at her dodging. Grandma, see, you on that bull. That's messed up. As far as the rest of her backstory, it's pretty much a blur to me since it was so long ago. So for now, we'll just leave it at Immortal Goddess, who has a lot of outfits and still looks pretty good for her age.
Making your announcements. How professional. Testing. Attention time, patrollers. I trust you're earning glory points.
Xenoverse Santanah is already a Super Saiyan and capable of defeating Final Form Frieza and Final Form Cooler. Has abilities like the bomb Kid Buu used to destroy Earth, and also the Final Flash, but we don't talk about the Final Flash, as that ability has a 100% success rate to the other person. Can also go Super Saiyan 3, but isn't quite strong enough to match against GT Goku's Super Saiyan 4. But that's a tough comparison. Fast forward after the Zenkai boost, Xenoverse Santanah trains under OG Broly, learns all of his moves in one day, and then takes on a 3v1 against Time Patrollers, and then wins in base Super Saiyan. That is quite a feat. Fast forward also trains under Android Milk, defeats Buu Saga Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. And then later in the same day goes into space, fights Goku, Bardock, and future Gohan, but unfortunately loses, but gets saved by Broly, just for him to end up getting jumped. But upon him seeing jumped, gets back up and fights all three of them, and somehow wins this fight. Even after losing all that stamina and power, somehow still comes back and defeats all of them. Afterwards ends up leaving Broly to go train with the other Saiyans, which just so happen to be the same Saiyans that are needed to be bonded with to become a god. After training under those Saiyans and becomes a Super Saiyan God, immediately challenges Super Saiyan God Goku, and with Piccolo's help, even beats him. Then proceeds to fight an Evil 21, beats her, takes her drip, and that there is a violation. Afterwards, takes on one of Majin Buu's children, destroys them easily, and then decides to go beat up some of the non-canon villains just for fun. And after finding them not much of a challenge, proceeds to become a villain herself, even dyeing her hair purple. Ends up beating up most of the heroes, even one of the fusions couldn't handle, even while in base form. Fast forward, Xeno Santanah decides to pull up on a god, to have her train her to become even more powerful in god form. And after winning, becomes Super Saiyan Blue, and then joins the Tournament of Power. And even though she didn't beat them alone, she held her own against some of the universe's strongest. That is quite a resume. Alright, time for the grading. So let's start with power. Alright, first place is obvious. Xeno Santanah can destroy planets. Like, she's scoring over some of the strongest fighters in the universe, and she can adapt to moves overnight, you know, playing with TP medals or whatever. So yeah, she can be defeated, but not by anybody in this list. Alright, so second goes to Sky Santanah. She's immortal, and in god form, she can really do some damage. In her human form, she can be handled and tolerated. But also, if anyone thinks that should put her above Xeno, the answer is no, because she has one of those in her universe. His name is Zamasu. And if she can handle him, she can handle a much weaker version. Also, immortality is probably the only saving grace for her, getting to be in third or fourth place. Alright, so third place is pretty tough because I feel like it possibly could go either way. However, I'm going to put Shinobi Santanah in third because she can box with the pains and drop literal meteors on people. And her angel wings make her much more versatile and faster than the fantasy form. So, it's kind of, it could be even. Alright, so yeah, giving the fourth spot to Fantasy Santanah because, don't get me wrong, she's strong. But in cutscene, it kind of degrades her because having other people get the finishing blow kind of makes it look like they did the work, even though she did it all, but it doesn't count it that way. And in the fights where she has taken alone, she got washed, so it's not looking good on the resume either way. So hopefully that changes in the future. So that is the rating for the powers. Alright, so now on to the beauty. If something's made by me, you know it's going to be made attractive. Alright, so fourth place, I gotta give it to Sky Santanah. She's cute, but you can tell her youth is behind her, which is fair. The girl is somewhere in her thousands. Plus, I knew something was up when my friend said she looked like Khloe Kardashian, which I had to look up because I didn't even know what she looked like. And when I seen it, yeah, I could see it. But anyway, to be in her thousands, she still got a body. I mean, she's caked on both angles. She's just a bit older. Alright, so for third, it goes to Shinobi. And it's not even her fault. It's because of the limitations in her verse. She is forced to be flat on both sides, and the art style doesn't let her colors pop. It's like desaturated. However, in her verse, she is one of the prettiest ones there because you don't know how many times I've went AFK and came back to some ninjas up under her skirt or getting way too close than they should be. So you can tell the attractiveness is there. But anyway, she's just limited, but she still looks good. Alright, so second place will go to Xeno Santanah. Which she has a very cute face, her body is a bit average, and the hair is the main thing holding her back. If Dragon Ball raised the bar past just Android 18 hairstyle, I feel like she could really be up there, like possibly be an 8 or a 9 if they were just change some of the settings with the hair. But we gotta deal with what we got. And first place obviously goes to Fantasy Santanah. Her hair is A1. All of her appearances look good. Pretty face, balanced body, fire closing styles. Honestly, total eye candy. What she lacks in her power, she makes up for in appeal. So that makes the list. And thank you for anyone who stayed to the end. So until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, my friends.